Hey everyone, thank you for watching today's video. I'm really excited to do because it is going to be my makeup monthly. I told myself I was going to film a makeup monthly, which is where I rank all of the products that I've been trying in the previous month. I told myself I was going to film one for December and I didn't do it. And here we are, we're now in February, so I'm gonna be doing the makeup monthly for not only December, but also January, which means we have a lot of products to get through, and some of these, I've just been straight gatekeeping from you. And that's my bad. Let's get started. All right, welcome. Before we jump in, let me show you my outfit of the day. So today we just have on some jeans. Got these from Target, and then this top, I've had it for like 4 years. The most exciting of outfits today, but it's all good, it's all good. I did also film this look for my Instagram. I used the new Be Mine palette from Sydney Grace, which looks like so. So if you're not following me yet on Instagram, I am March Beauty Word. I post a lot of demos with makeup, like this eye look right here. And in my stories and on my highlights feed on my profile, I do like PR hauls, I do speed reviews over there. I post a lot of my dog. Aries has her own OOTD highlight for her outfits of the day. But I did do the demo over there, and I had posted the PR haul when I got this Sydney Grace palette. I also got in the Colourpop Amethyst palette, which I think is really pretty. And I asked which palette you would want to see me use first, and it was like 72% said the Sydney Grace Be Mine palette. So I just used the purple and the green shimmers right here on the lid, and then I used, and on my lower lash line, and then I just used this lightest shimmer for the inner corner and the brow bone. And super simple. The shadow, like Sydney Grace has excellent eyeshadow quality. Super simple to use, even with just a few shades. And I do like how it came out. Again, Sydney Grace just has really nice eyeshadows. So that is the Be Mine palette. This is my first look with it, but I thought that it performed really well. So I do always link all of my makeup in the description box if there's anything that you're curious about. I also do have a lot of products that I'm going to be reviewing in today's video, and we have 22 products to review. Usually in my makeup monthlies, I have somewhere between like maybe 7 and 10 products. And this isn't even everything that I could have done. I crossed a few off my list that I feel like I could probably put in for next month too, or in other wrap-up videos, and I was like, I should just stop talking. Let's get into the products. We have a lot to review, clearly. I will say the majority of the products I do like. I used to do my makeup monthly in a favorite, fails, and then also a fine category. A lot of these products are gonna fit into the fine category. I have two here at the bottom, and they're actually two face powders, and these are the two that I really did not like these very much. So coming in at number 22, I have from Nars, and this is their light reflecting setting powder. This is their pressed powder, and I have the translucent shade. Now, so here is the powder, and then it does come with this little puff here, which I have used. I've also used a brush with it, and then it looks like a white powder, has the mirror in here. So I received this in PR from Nars with their light reflecting foundation. I have done a review. I did a beauty battle with the Nars Light Reflecting Foundation, as well as the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Foundation, so I will link that video. And I had mentioned in there that I had also been sent this powder, and I wasn't quite sure how I was feeling about it, but I was gonna put it in my next makeup monthly. I'm just not a fan of this one. I felt like the first time I used the Nars Foundation, which I had filmed the first impression for an Instagram video, my skin looked really nice after I finished putting it on. And then I put on this powder, and I was like, I don't feel like, what happened here? I don't feel like my skin looks quite as nice. I do lean more on the dry side. I have a little bit more combo skin, but I definitely lean more dry. And with these two powders that I'm going to be talking about first, I just feel like they really emphasize that I have dry skin. So if you lean more oily, maybe these might be a little bit more friendly to you, but if you are more on the dry side, I would not be able to recommend these because I just feel like it really emphasized that. It kind of took any sort of glow from my skin. It kind of took all of that away and just left my skin looking very matte, which I'm personally not a fan of. So if you are, you know, flip that around. I feel like it also made my skin look dull. Interesting, because I just like 10 minutes ago posted a video that I had done for my Instagram. I reposted it to my TikTok, and the video was focused on the By the Rose palette from Colourpop, which I'll be reviewing in this video. But it's the video where before that I had done the Nars and the Nars combination, and I just like don't like the way my skin looks in the video. Like, I like the way my eye look came out, but I'm like, I'm not feeling on my skin. And if you caught the video about the Nars Foundation, you know that I love this one. So it's definitely the powder, you know, then I had to keep trying these separately, and I've tried this with some of my favorite foundations and it's just not for me. I just don't like the way it makes my skin look. So unfortunately not a fan of that one. Next up, the other powder that I have is from Colourpop. I'm super bummed that I don't like this one. This is the Pretty Fresh Pressed Face Powder. I was using the shade Light 7. The shade was just like maybe a touch too light for me, but I thought about switching to a different shade because Colourpop had sent me a handful in PR. I was like, maybe I should switch, but I was like, I just have a feeling I'm not gonna like this powder, so why put my brush in two? And you know, I could give some away and see if other people, if it works for them better than it worked for me. But my biggest issue with this one is that this one was so drying on my skin. Once again, if you're oily, this might be more up your alley, but especially with more dry skin, when I would put it on, every single dryness, every single flake on my face was totally visible. I don't feel like with this one compared to the Nars, like I said, like the Nars just made my skin look dull. I don't necessarily feel like this one made my skin look dull. Like I could get away with wearing this one. I didn't feel like I could get away with wearing the Nars. I felt very self-conscious and very uncomfortable all the times that I wore the Nars foundations. Even when I paired it with some of my favorites, like the Dior Backstage Face and Body, I still was like, I am not loving this one. This one I felt like I could at least go out and be like, you know, I know that I'm not like looking the best right now, but I'm okay to show my face in public. So that's why I ranked the Nars a little bit lower. So while I don't feel like this made my skin look dull in that sort of sense, it just was way too drying on me. It didn't do my skin any sort of benefits. To me, sometimes when you're overly dry or you look overly dry, it starts to emphasize, you know, wrinkles, texture, and fine lines, any of that sort of thing. So I felt like when I would wear this powder, it would age me, which I'm not a fan of. That is not what I want to be happening. So I have really high hopes for this one because I am more into the pressed powder game recently. I obviously love the Dior powder, no powder, but I've been trying other pressed powders and wearing other pressed powders, and I just had really high hopes for the one from Colourpop. You can see in a first impression video that I have here on YouTube that I can link, that at first I was excited about it, and then as I kept looking and as time went on, it was like, oh, this is not doing me any sort of favors. So I'm bummed. I was hoping to find a really nice affordable powder. I'm still planning to try the one from e.l.f. Cosmetics though, so we'll see what I think of that one. Next up, I have an eyeshadow palette. So I did start a new series on my channel where every single month I'm going to be reviewing and sharing about all of the eyeshadow palettes that I tried the previous month. So my video from January is already live. So it's a way for me to track the makeup that I'm wearing, try to use up more of the makeup in my collection. Like it gives me a goal, it gives me something to look forward to. And having a monthly video series, which I love doing a series on my channel, it just kind of keeps me in like on track to do that. So I started keeping track of all of the palettes that I used every single month. So in January, I ranked the 9 that I used. Some are new, some are older, some are holy grails. So I think it's just gonna be a fun mixture because typically with my makeup monthly, this is all the newer products that I am trying out. Whereas with that one, you know, you get some throwbacks in there. I post my looks with those different palettes and that sort of thing. And it's just fun to be able to challenge me to use up more of my makeup. That was an issue that I was really starting to be bothered by, and I want to live my life unbothered. So I was like, what can we do about this? We got to turn this around. So that video is live. So with the eyeshadow palettes, I'm going to touch on these pretty briefly because I'm going to reference that last video if you're interested in checking it out, because I reviewed these more in depth. We have a lot of products to get through. So coming in at number 20, I have from Pat McGrath. This is the Bridgerton eyeshadow palette. Like I mentioned in the ranking of the eyeshadow palettes video, this one, I wasn't super pleased with how just the launch went in general, how the shipping went. I've heard people question, was this a pre-order, but without saying it was a pre-order. Also, the other big problem that for me personally is that this red shade right here does contain carmine, which I do think I have some sort of allergy. The red shadow, unfortunately, I had a really bad reaction to it. My eyes were super swollen, super bummed about that. The other shades in the palette do not do that to me. I've worn all the other shades. I haven't had any other reactions to them, so that's good, but it's only a 6-pan palette. You know, it's obviously it's more expensive. It's Pat McGrath. So to only be able to use 5 of the shades, I was like, darn it, because I actually really did like that red. I love the packaging on this. I really like the mirror inside. I think it's a beautiful palette. I love the Bridgerton TV show. It's a favorite of mine, but also I felt kind of limited with the palette. It definitely pulled more pink than I thought it was going to. Just looking at it, I feel like the different looks that I've done with this palette kind of turn out being pretty similar to one another. If we didn't have the wild card in here, which is like the blue, like kind of more like the duochrome shimmer, I feel like my looks would definitely be looking so similar, which also it's a 6-pan palette, so sometimes that can happen. But there's other palettes that I use that are 5 pans or 6 pans where it's yet like maybe some of the looks are similar, but it's not, I don't feel like it's the same thing every single time, or I still feel inspired when I go into those palettes. And after I used this one twice, I was like, okay, what should I do next? Like, I just feel kind of limited with this one, so that's why I'm putting it towards the bottom here. This is especially where we get into the fine category. From here until we get to like the like top of the list, like these are all products that I like, that I think are good. I would recommend. Some of them are super affordable, so that's great. They're just not like tip top favorites of mine. So at number 19, I have this primer from e.l.f. Cosmetics. This is the Cookies and Dreams. I don't mind this primer. I thought it was going to be pretty similar to the putty primer from e.l.f. Am I saying that right? The putty primer? But to me, they weren't really all that similar. And I did a first impression with this one also because I received the collection in PR from e.l.f. I have to say, when I first opened it, it definitely had that kind of cookies and cream scent to it, but as I've been using it more, I feel like I don't smell it quite as much now. But this one, the e.l.f., the Poreless Putty Primer, I feel like is very pore filling. It's a little bit of a thicker primer, and then when you blend it in, you can really see it kind of smoothing everything on your skin. This one had more, to me, of like a slippery type of texture, almost a little bit more on maybe like the silicone side, I want to say. But I could tell right away that it was definitely a very different texture. It was much more thin. It was a lot more lightweight than the putty primer, so maybe that's going to be more of your preference. But because of that, I don't know if I really noticed a ton of effects with this one. When it comes to primers, I either like something, for me personally, that's either more blurring, more smoothing, that sort of thing, or is more of a gripping primer and is going to hold on to my foundation, or is something that has skincare benefits like the Lawless or the Huda Beauty. Those are kind of the primers I go for. This to me was just kind of like, I'm not sure if this is really helping or elevating my makeup game in any ways, but I mean, it felt smooth when I applied it. I didn't have like, I don't dislike this for any reason. I just think that there are better primers out there. So that's what I think about the Cookies and Dream. And then at number 18 from e.l.f. Cosmetics, I have their Stay All Day Blue Light Micro Setting Mist. Kind of what I was just saying with the primer. There's primers that I go to again and again because they have those benefits that I just mentioned. And then same thing when it comes to a makeup spray, a setting spray, a finishing spray, anything like that. The ones that I like are typically the ones that are going to kind of melt all the makeup into your skin. I think about the MAC Fix Plus, even the Morphe Continuous Setting Spray, I think are good ones for that. Or are setting sprays that kind of lock in your makeup, like the Urban Decay All Nighter and the Benefit Super Setter. Those are what I tend to really enjoy in my setting sprays. Well, this one I think is nice. And again, I've been using it for many weeks straight now. I've had this one for a while. I don't really notice any sort of crazy benefits that I'm like, I really want to make sure you guys know about this one. It does say that it helps absorb blue light. That's something that's kind of hard to be able to visibly notice, so it's hard for me to be able to back that up for sure. But once again, it's a lightweight spray. It doesn't leave like the big droplets on my skin. I don't notice it doing any sort of that makeup melting. And with this one, I feel like I can actually see a difference when I wear the Urban Decay and the Benefit in lasting, like keeping my makeup lasting and looking fresh all day long. This one is just like, okay, like it's good. It's not bad. It's not going to be a favorite. It's just like, all right. Like I'll continue to use it. It just didn't stand out to me, if you will. And then at number 17, one more from e.l.f. Cosmetics, I have one of their new lip products. So this one is in Power Mauve. This one is the Glossy Lip Stain. So again, I did a first impression video with a lot of these e.l.f. products, and the shade that I have been testing out is in Power Mauve. So you have a pretty small one here. These retail for just $6, and there is what Power Mauve looks like. So it's a nice kind of pinky mauve toned lip color. once again, I like this one. I will say I didn't feel that I could put them in this video yet because I've only worn it 2 times. I like to try everything at least 3 before I review it, if not more. But if I compare this to the Colourpop Fresh Kiss, their lip product that released with their Valentine's collection, I have a demo on my Instagram with those products. I was very, very impressed with that. I'm kind of not as much into more of these like liquid lips these days, but that one to me was super comfortable. It stayed really well, lasted through, like I was so impressed. I posted an Instagram story at the end of the night, like this lip color has held on so well. I was very, very impressed with that one. With this one from e.l.f., I would still say I see those benefits. It's very comfortable. It's not too drying on the lips, but it does say that it's going to be a lip stain, and I didn't feel like it really had that stain effect. So while I liked it as a lip product, I decided to rank it a little bit lower just because I don't see the lip stain. Other times when I use lip stains, it kind of at least gives your lips that tinted look. Even after some of it kind of wears away and that sort of thing, you still have that tint to your lips that is staying around. And I didn't really notice that with this one. I remember the first night I wore it and went to dinner, and I came back and I was with one of my girlfriends and I was like, let me check what my lip looks like. I'm reviewing this product right now. And I was like, oh, it said it was a lip stain. I thought it would hold on a little bit longer because I'm pretty sure we had salads that night. So it wasn't anything like, it wasn't like biting into a burrito or something like that. A burrito. Again though, it's a pretty color. It's easy to apply. It's pretty opaque also, and it's comfortable. I just wish it had a little bit more of a wear time to it. That's all. All right, at number 16, the other product that I purchased from the Pat McGrath Bridgerton collection, we have the Face Trio, the Divine Blush and Glow Trio Love at First Blush. This is a pretty product. I don't regret buying this one. I like it. I'm glad that I have it in my collection because there was a couple of Pat McGrath face trios that I was thinking of buying. I'm glad that I purchased this one. Like I said, I like it. I do kind of wish that there would have been like a bronzer, a blush, and a highlight that's just a little bit more of me, because this kind of more of a bright pink blush, I don't wear it all that often. I'm typically going for this with a blush, and then sometimes though I think this one is a little bit too light. You can really load up on that blush. Sometimes I do mix these two together, but then I'm just not into like the hot pink blushes as much, and sometimes I think it can get a little bit too bright on the cheeks. It's pretty though. And then the highlight though, I do think is really gorgeous in this trio. It's very smooth. It looks kind of more of like that, just kind of like that glowing from within type of look when I wear this highlight. So once again, packaging, I really love that. The collab I think is really pretty. At number 15, I have some Rare Beauty brushes. I just got a really generous PR package from Rare Beauty, which I was so excited about. There's been, and you're gonna see my excitement as we keep going through this video, but they sent me a few products, and they also sent me a Rare Beauty hoodie. Oh my gosh, I was wearing it all day yesterday, all last night. I was so excited about it. I am gonna be reviewing quite a few of the Rare Beauty products in this video, and like I said, at what was this one, 15, are these brushes. So I got the powder, this is gonna be so hard for me, the powder brush, and then the blush brush. I actually really like the powder brush. This one is very smooth. It's very like soft on the skin, which I appreciate. And I've been using it with the Rare Beauty loose powder, which I'll be reviewing in this video. For the blush brush, I do think that this one is a little bit scratchy, so I decided to put these two together, and I ranked it a little bit lower just because this one I think is a little bit on the scratchy side. I've used it mostly to apply the liquid blush from Rare Beauty, and I like it. It's like my makeup comes out smooth, which I appreciate. It's not like blotchy or anything. There's just a few times as I'm tapping it in that I'm kind of like, ooh, 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 because this one is just a little bit on the scratchy side. So if you're looking for a brush recommendation from Rare Beauty, I would choose the powder brush. And then speaking of the Rare Beauty loose powder, I have that one coming in at number 14 here. So I'm using the shade Light Medium. I like this powder. Once again, it's one of those products that I don't know if it's an absolute standout to me, but compared to like the Colourpop and the Nars powder, this is the one that I have on today, the Rare Beauty is, and like I feel like my skin looks good. I'm not self-conscious about it, but I don't think it like elevates my skin. I feel like I now compare all powders to the Dior Powder No Powder, which is like my skin just looks like I have a filter on it truly, whereas this one is like, it's good. It's good. Like, I like it, you know, it's kind of one of those products. but I don't know if you can see without me trying to make a mess of it, but you can kind of click it over to be able to get it to where the product would come out. And then I usually just put the cap on it, flip it over, and then tap it a little bit. And then I can either get the product on top here, or sometimes it goes right into the cap, and that's how I pick it up. I've used it with the Rare Beauty brush, and then I did also one time picked it up with a damp sponge and kind of tapped it in that way. Today I used it with a brush because I just feel like it's a little bit more like on the lightweight side. I use the Nars Foundation, which I enjoy so much, so I don't really feel like I need to use a lot of powder when I use the Nars Foundation, which I do really appreciate about it. But again, light medium I think is a good shade for me. I think that it's easy to apply. It's one of those that it's like, I don't think it makes my skin look worse. I don't think it ages me. I think it's good with my dry skin. Once again, it's a very, the word that I keep going back to is like, it's a very lightweight, very like smooth powder. I don't think it like elevates my skin to a crazy level to where I'm like, I have to wear this every day, I can't be without it, everybody needs to buy it, that sort of thing. But I think it's good. Number 13 from e.l.f. Cosmetics, this is their Power Grip primer. So we got 2 different primers in here from e.l.f. This one is definitely the one that I would recommend. I know some people are asking, is it really similar to the Milk Hydro Grip? Would it be considered a dupe? These are pretty darn similar. I think I would say with the Milk, I think I actually like the e.l.f. over the Milk makeup. I'm gonna go ahead and say that. I like the e.l.f. over the Milk makeup because it's just a tidge bit easier to work with. And a lot of you might know, if you've been around my channel for a while, I like the Milk Hydro Grip. I've recommended it, I've used it, but one thing that I've said is that it's a little bit on the finicky side when you apply it. You really want to let it sit, wait, sink in for like at least 10 minutes before you start doing your foundation. Otherwise you can get some pilling action. This one, when you pump it out, it comes out pretty thick, just like the Hydro Grip, but it doesn't have as sticky of a feeling when you apply it to the skin. It's a little bit more on the smooth side. I can go in with my foundation, you know, pretty immediately after applying this primer. I've had no issues with pilling or anything like that, but it still holds on, I think holds on to the foundation quite nicely. So yeah, if you're looking for a good new gripping primer, I would recommend this one from e.l.f. Cosmetics. I was really impressed with it. I definitely liked it more over the Cookies and Dreams because, again, that type of primer is one that I really look for. So especially for such an affordable price, I was pretty impressed with that one. Number 12, I have another eyeshadow palette. This is from Colourpop, and this is the By the Rose palette. Like I said, I was going to be mentioning this one. So this is a 9-pan palette. I received this in PR from Colourpop, and I think that it's really pretty. Colourpop sometimes can be a little bit hit or miss on the formula for me. Sometimes their formula I think is excellent. Sometimes I think it's very subpar. This is one where I feel like the quality is very, very good, which I do appreciate. I really enjoyed the color scheme. What I said about this one in my palette ranking video is that Colourpop definitely comes out with a lot and comes out with a lot of palettes, and not always does everything really intrigue me or cause me to do a double take or that sort of thing, but this one actually did. So when I received it in PR, I was like, yes, I'm trying this right away. This was the first palette that I tried in the year 2022. It's one of the questions for the eyeshadow palette tag video that Allie Glines and I did. It's been so fun seeing all the videos come in, both here on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok. I have a sound on TikTok if you want to use it over there. I was really impressed with this one. Will it be like an absolute favorite Colourpop palette or eyeshadow palette of mine? Probably not, but I like it and I've gotten some pretty looks from it. At number 11, I have the new lip swipes from Kaja Beauty. I also have a first impression video that I'll have all of these linked down below, or if I have demos or anything, I will always link everything, including all of the makeup that I'm speaking about, in my description box. As always, if you use affiliate links, I thank you so much because that always does help me out. When I first used these, I was like, yes, like I'm really liking these. And then I used this darker shade and I was like, wait a second. So I realized that I lean more towards the lighter shades, which is not super uncommon. That's just kind of me in general. But like this one right here is in I'm Melting, and I really, really like this shade. This is what I used in the first impression video, and I thought it was just such a pretty mauve tone. So this one has more of like that lightweight, very kind of like whipped moussey type of formula, but it's also very comfortable on the lips. I didn't find it to be overly drying. It's very easy to reapply. You know, sometimes liquid lipsticks can get a little hard and a little like chunky gunky on the lips. I felt like this one was really easy to apply because it's very lightweight, and I really, really loved the shade I'm Melting. But then another day I tried the shade Call Me, and I did this one, it might have been in my members only video for the month of January, that I did this deeper kind of more berry shade. And I didn't feel like this one looked quite as nice on the lips. and I felt like it was kind of fading a little bit more on the outer part of my lips, especially after, you know, several hours of wear. And even as I would try to reapply it, I just felt like it was coming out a little bit more on the streaky side. But the lighter shades I do think are really pretty. Swipe Right is another one that I think is good, but I'm Melting is definitely gonna be my favorite from the shades that I have tried. So with this one, it was just kind of like, I would have ranked them higher because I really do like this formula, and I keep going back to I'm Melting. But just because that darker shade kind of gave me a few issues, I thought I would place it in at number 11. We are getting into the top 10, and I feel badly about this one because I feel like I was trying it at such, you know, end of year is such a crazy time. There's Vlogmas going on. I have my own business. I was doing end of year sales for that, so I was just so crazy on that end too. There's all these wrap up videos and like looking forward to 2022 videos that we're trying to do. It's just like a madness kind of time, and I feel like I never was able to show this palette love. And then I didn't actually use this palette in January, so then it wasn't even included in my January ranking video, and I was like, wait a second, I have to tell y'all how much I enjoy this palette, and I'm so sorry for gatekeeping this, okay? I'm sorry. This is from Huda Beauty, and this is the Rose Quartz palette. I'm shooketh at how much I enjoyed this palette. Really, truly am. And I'm just surprised because some of the other bigger Huda Beauty palettes, I just really haven't been as into. I do like her 9 pans, like the Obsessions palettes. I was a big fan of those, especially when they first released. I was talking about them all the time. But her larger palettes, I just kind of thought were so did Aries. And so when she came out with Rose Quartz, I was like, yes, the color scheme is beautiful and very me, you know, that's great. But these are $67 palettes. I just don't think it's gonna be worth it. I ended up skipping on it. I actually got my first PR package from Huda Beauty, came with this palette, and I was like, me? I was very excited. I immediately started trying the Rose Quartz, and I was like, this would have been one that you would have really enjoyed if I would have bought it myself. I don't think I would have regretted it. I would have been happy to have it. And there was a time in December where I could not stop wearing this. I just thought it was so beautiful. I've done it. This one leans more on the pink side also, but unlike the Bridgerton, it's obviously bigger. We have 1, 2, 3, 6 times 3, 18. We had a math question in our trivia challenge last night, and let me tell you, like, once I realized it was a math question, I was like, I'm out. Go team go. There's 18 shades in this one. You definitely can get different looks, and you have the, like, what do we call that one? It's a science term, petri dish. You have some of the fun shimmers in here, the mattes, like even some of these which kind of look like more regular shimmer shades than like some of these in here. Those are so beautiful. I really ended up liking this palette, and I was not expecting to enjoy this one as much as I did. Number 9, I have a makeup sponge. I'm very particular about my makeup sponges. I tend to reuse the same ones over and over and rebuy the same ones from the same brands over and over. This one from e.l.f. Cosmetics is a really nice sponge. It's dirty because I have used it. I still need to wash it. Please stop judging me. Please. This one is really nice. This came out with the Cookies and Dreams collection, and I have not been able to stop using it. I've washed it multiple times. It stayed the same. It definitely looks like the Sonia Kashuk one, which was a very big hit on YouTube and social media just a few years ago. You could get it at Target. That one, I will say, gets quite a bit bigger. If I'm remembering correctly, it gets quite a bit bigger than the one from e.l.f. This is just kind of like your standard makeup sponge, but I like that. I don't need like an oversized sponge every single time, but it's that nice blend of being firm without feeling like you're hitting yourself with a brick, and then like soft but not too soft. It doesn't absorb too much makeup. Everything looks nice when I apply it with the sponge. These are a little bit cheaper. I believe this is $5 or $6 on the e.l.f. website. I love the marble design to it. I think that this is a great sponge. This next one at number 8, I almost didn't even try this one. I was like, why would I do that? This is from Rare Beauty, and it's one of their liquid blushes. If you know me, you know that I have had nothing nice to say about the Rare liquid blushes. I bought one when Rare Beauty was first launching and they came out with their first collection. I bought quite a few products from that first collection, and it just really was not products for me, especially at that time. I wasn't wearing a lot of liquid and cream products. Even like the lip products were just not my personal style at that point. I wasn't a fan, and I was like, you know what, Rare Beauty just might not be for me. Things have changed. things have changed, especially with the mascara. I have the Rare Beauty mascara on today. It's an absolute favorite of mine. I've recommended it over and over again. I have more products from Rare Beauty that I'm going to be reviewing in this video. But when I got this liquid blush, I was like, okay, this one is the dewy. And what I had purchased in the past was the matte. And even when I was reviewing the matte and I didn't have anything nice to say, people were saying you should try the dewy blush. I think it would be more you. I like it more. But I was like, I just really don't feel like going and spending my money on more blushes when I don't like this matte blush. I just, you know, the brand's just not going to be for me. Like, whatever, it is what it is. It's fine. It's not that deep. So when I got the dewy blush, I was like, let's just give it a shot. And bananas, I am really surprised at this one. So this is the shade Encourage. I have it on my cheeks today, and I think that it is beautiful. And man, am I surprised. So there is what Encourage looks like. It's just a beautiful mauve shade. How I would describe the matte blush is that it made my face look very flat, which even just putting on blush, even if you go ham on the blush, I'm not putting blush all over my face, but I felt like once I would apply that matte blush, it would change the look of my skin, and it just like my look would go from like to and I was very sad about that. This blush, I do not think does that. I think that it blends out smoothly. I will say less is more. Like, this is what I would need on one cheek, and that's gonna be good. In my first impression video that I did on Instagram, I was being very Instagrammable, and I did like a swipe. I mean, you know, you see people that do like the contour routines and they're just like swiping products everywhere. I'm like, yeah, let me swipe products. I'm like trying to be Celeste Barber and like copy people, and mine does not look as good. So I swiped it on, and then as I started blending, I was like, oh shoot, this could be bad. But it actually blended so smoothly, and I was using the brush at the time. Sometimes I think a beauty sponge, a beauty makeup sponge, beauty blender, whatever you want to say, I feel like it's a little bit easier to blend liquid products. So using a brush, I was like, this is going to take me 1,000 years. I'm going to look like a clown. This is going to be crazy. No, it blended out super seamlessly, and I felt like it actually looked like a pretty blush on my skin. I'm really surprised. I have been wearing this so much. Like I said, I always link my makeup in the description box. You've been seeing this linked for the past at least week, if not even a little bit longer now. This is beautiful. The shade Encourage, I love so much. It's making me think I probably should have gone back and just tried one of the dewy blushes when they first came out. But again, I'm a normal person too. I spend a lot of money on makeup. I spend another over $200 at Sephora today. Like, I can't buy all of it, and sometimes I just need to be smart about my makeup and what I'm buying and my money decisions. And I was like, you know what? No, I'm not gonna buy it. It's not for me. The dewy blushes, give those a try if you don't like the matte one. Number 7, I feel like I've also been gatekeeping this product. You've been seeing it in my description box a lot. I wear this so often, but I haven't mentioned it yet. It is from IT Cosmetics, and it is their Brow Power Brow Pencil. On one side, you do have the brow product. This one is kind of, I always go back to Benefit because those are some of my favorites, the Precisely My Brow and the Goof Proof. This one gives me more Goof Proof vibes. It's just a little bit on the smaller side. I have the shade Universal Taupe, and then you do have the spoolie on the other, and it's kind of more like a brush spoolie. I have it in my brows today. I'm very impressed with this. It's so easy to work with. It's one of those brow pencils that when I use it, it's like, yeah, my brows look good. Everything's fine. It's not too finicky. I'm not like constantly I'm not the best at doing brows. Not one of those pencils where I'm constantly like, oh no, like I think I like screwed up over here, over there. Like, it's just a really solid brow pencil, and I have a hard time finding brow pencils that I really like. That's why I go back to the Benefit over and over again. But this one from IT Cosmetics, I got this in PR, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna give it a shot. I feel like I only use the same brow products over and over. Really happy I did. Definitely would recommend that one. Next up at number 6, kind of like the theme of this video is I've been gatekeeping these products because I've been trying this one for a hot minute also, and I feel like I haven't mentioned it at all. Like, even just like in passing in videos, I don't feel like I've mentioned it. It's actually what I'm wearing on my lips today, and this is from e.l.f. Cosmetics, and this is their Love Triangle Lip Filler Liner. So the shade that I have on is in light brown. This is definitely my favorite. They also have one, there's a pink one that I like too. I definitely go for nudes more. So again, it's what I have on my lips, and it's actually all that I have on my lips. So kind of the point of this one is they say that you can use it as a lip liner, but it has a little bit of a thicker triangle shape to it, so you can also fill in your lips, and that's what I do a lot with this. I like to do that with lip liners. Like Mac Whirl is something that I do that with quite often also. Sometimes I'll top it with a lip gloss, but for me, this one has a little bit of a shine to it also, so I didn't even feel like I needed to do a gloss today. So this is all that I have on my lips. It's super comfortable, it's very creamy. I like that it's retractable. Even when I wear it as a like all over lip product, I don't feel like it's moving or fading too quickly, kind of like the difference between their gloss stain. Like I feel like the lip liner lasts a lot longer too. So these out of, e.l.f.'s been coming out with a lot of new products recently. If I could give you my number one, it would definitely be these lip liners. Number 5 from Natasha Denona, I have the Mini Rose Cheek Duo. I actually ended up really liking this one, and I like these mini cheek duos from Natasha Denona. The Mini Bronze and Glow, right? Yes, the Mini Bronze and Glow. That was a favorite of mine for such a long time. Still have it, still on my bathroom vanity. And these are only $19, which I do not think is a bad price at all. So I end up recommending these a lot. I've had people here at the complex ask me, you know, about her larger, like the 4-pan ones. And I'm like, honestly, I would find a mini that you think would work well for you and purchase those. I get so much more bang for my buck for sure out of these minis. So you do have a cream blush and then also a highlight. I did top a little bit of the cream blush on top of the Rare Beauty, and then I actually meant to put the highlight on, but I didn't. Literally looking around for a highlight brush. What is wrong with me in forgetting highlight these days? Do I not have a brush near me? What kind of beauty influencer am I? I'm just gonna go ahead and add a little bit of the highlight here because I thought the highlight was also quite stunning from, oh, see, I think that it's really, really beautiful. But on my nose, okay. Feel better about life now. I really do like this one. I saw some people say that they were having issues with like hard pan in their blush and it not picking up as much. Like today, I just once again used the Rare Beauty blush brush and I thought that it picked up fine. A lot of times I tend to use a brush with this one versus a sponge. I don't know if that would be easier, but I really haven't experienced any issues and I still feel like the blush looks really nice on me. So I get a lot of use out of these. I love the like little smallness of it. I love that it's a blush and a highlight and not like 2 blushes or 2 highlights or something like that. So I really like those. And also from that same collection and coming in at number 4 is the Natasha Denona Mini Biba palette. So I did do a full video on this collection and did a first impression here on YouTube, but I really, really like the Mini Biba. This is one that I mentioned in my January ranking video that yes, it's a 5-pan palette, and yes, it might be one of those of like, you're only doing the same looks, you can only do the same thing. But every time I open it, I'm like, I know what I want to do. I don't get bored with this palette. This is a cream shade right here, and I think that it's beautiful. I think it really adds a lot to the palette. The shimmers from Natasha Denona are beautiful. The mattes are easy to use. The mini palettes from Natasha, I'm like such a fan of. And I think that this is a really nice one. So I was impressed. Those are only $25. Really do like that palette. Number 3 I have from Charlotte Tilbury, and this is the Charlotte's Beautiful Skin Foundation. So I did do a video, like I mentioned, with the Charlotte Tilbury and the Nars, so I will link that one for more in depth in there. But I've been really impressed with this foundation. This is in 6. For me, once again, I have more dry skin. I think if you are oily, this won't be the foundation for you, but I'd check out oily skin reviews for sure. But this one definitely gives you more of that glow, a little bit more of that dewy look, but I personally do like that. I think that my skin looks really nice when I wear this one. I think the wear time is good on it. I just like the way that my skin looks when I wear this foundation. So definitely been a fan of this one. And like I mentioned, I did compare it to the Nars in that beauty battle video, and I really, really enjoyed this one. This is what I'm wearing today. I wear the shade M2, which is a Santa Fe. This foundation impresses me so much. Coming in at number 2, if I didn't say that, I've been filming for a while. I've had to take a few water breaks and I still feel like I'm losing my voice, oh boy. But this one is just beautiful. This is one that I think if you have dry skin or more oily skin, it would work for you. It's not gonna be quite as glowy as the Charlotte Tilbury, but it just kind of gives you that healthy looking skin effect. I feel like it's like my skin but better when I wear it. It has, I think both of these foundations that have that very kind of second skin type of look, but the Nars to me is just a little bit more on that natural side, which I really, really enjoy. So been a big fan of that one from Nars. And then at number 1, it's another product from Rare Beauty. I didn't see this coming either. I really didn't, but this is the Rare Beauty bronzer stick. Received this in PR. Once I started trying it, I was like, oh my gosh, everyone needs to try this. And then I realized it's sold out pretty much everywhere because so many people are raving about this bronzer. I was like, what in the world? I have it on today. You've seen it in my description box day after day after day after day. This is beautiful. I tried it in a first impression video and I was like, what is this? I mean, every brand is gonna have, you know, hits or misses for me. I don't love every single product that Rare Beauty has come out, but they are a brand that, like, when I find those products that I love so much, I love them and I can't wait to tell everybody about them. That is how I feel about the mascara. That is now how I feel about this bronzer stick. So I use the shade Power Boost, and I feel badly because I've seen that it's sold out on Sephora. I see that it's sold out on the Rare Beauty website. I hope they're gonna be restocking. Maybe by the time this video goes up, it will be restocked. This is a gorgeous bronzer. I use this even over powder and even over the Colourpop Pretty Fresh powder, which, like I said, made my skin look pretty dry. I was like, there's no way, you know, I forgot to do this before the powder. There's no way this is gonna go on smoothly. So smoothly. You can touch up with this bronzer. It's one of those that just looks so natural on the skin. A lot of times when I do a cream bronzer or even a liquid bronzer, I then tend to go in with a powder bronzer. It's just to give me even just a little bit more of a boost because I do love bronzing my skin. But this is one, when I wear it, I feel no urge to wear another powder bronzer on top because it just looks so beautiful. I don't know what else to say. I can't believe how much I like this bronzer. I really, really wanted to come back in stock because I want more people to be able to try it. I just think that it's gorgeous. The packaging, you can twist it up. I'm such a fan of this one. I don't know what more else I could say. It's probably gonna be one of those that, like, I'm gonna start to annoy you just like I do with the Rare Beauty mascara. And we're like, we know, Samantha, we know, you talk about it enough. So that obviously had to come in first place. When I like counted all of the different products and then I was making my list, I was like, I know exactly what's coming in at number 1. Even though I love the Nars Foundation and I highly recommend it, I was like, I still have to put the Rare Beauty first because I just enjoy that one so much. So usually with these videos, I tend to do like a creator shout out and book reviews and that sort of thing, but I knew this was gonna be a really long video, so I wanted to just focus on the makeup products for this month. But next month I'll go back to my usual routine, creator shout outs, book reviews, that sort of thing. So I hope you enjoyed it. I know I had a lot of information to come at you. Everything will be linked in the description box. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments, of course. And as always, if you enjoyed this one, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. I hope you also consider subscribing before you go, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.